All right, welcome to the 2022 Regional Conference season. This video is specifically for the River City region. We're going to talk about important deadlines. We're going to talk about where to park, all the details and logistics that you need to be made aware of for our regional conference hosted by the University of Louisville. First and foremost, kentuckytsa.org/regional is going to be a great place for you to find all the details we're about to talk about. So we're going to scroll down and show you specifically the River City region and what to expect. So the registration deadline is February 16th. Registration is already open, ready for your students, for you to add them in, and we're going to show you how to do that here in this video. Early entries, online submissions are going to be due February 21st. The conference is going to be on March 2nd, and there is a $25 chapter registration fee to help offset the cost of the registration system that we use. First and foremost, let's talk about parking. There will be a parking map on this website. We'll post that as soon as possible. We just got confirmation from the university on where to park, so I just want to show you on a map. So the Student Activity Center is here off South Floyd and Brandeis. So there are two different places to drop off and pick up. The first one is going to be off East First and Brandeis, West Brandeis. You'll use this roundabout, drop kids off, they can walk in. Or the second is going to be off University Boulevard. Again, another roundabout, drop them off, and they can walk up and access the Student Activity Center, which is not only this building here, but also this building. So it's a rather large facility. Two different places to drop off and pick up. Do not drop off South Floyd. Do not drop off in this parking area. You will, parking will get on your case, I have been told. So once your buses drop off and pick up, if they're staying on campus for the day, they can come and park down by Cardinal Stadium, and they can park in Purple Lot A or B, and that'll be noted on the map. So it's going to be in one of these two lots. Do not have them park in Bronze Lot. They will get ticketed. They do need to park in Purple Lot A or B. And once again, a map will show you, and you can give that straight to your bus driver. Let's talk about event guides. So there's a little bit of confusion, especially if you're a new regional a chapter advisor. If you log into the national system, so you go out to tsaweb.org, click on login. You log in, you're going to see a page similar to this. On the Total TSA tab, you are a high school advisor, so you're going to have competitions-high school. We're going to scroll all the way down. There are two different ways to access the competitive event guides. One is a full PDF, so it's going to have every event. It's going to be a 300+ page document as a single PDF. The other way to access is to download a zip file, and each event guide is going to be a separate PDF. That's, in my opinion, much more student friendly, so you can just give them their events and not give them every event. Regardless which way you download or download both, that's going to have every rule and regulation you're going to need, as well as the rubric, so you can help students understand how they're going to be judged. So two different ways to access national competitive events. If it's a state-only event, which we have several that will run at regional and at our state conference, that's going to be located in our Kentucky TSA Advisors Google Classroom that you have access to. So under classwork, come to state-only events. Here you're going to see for regionals, kayak and drones. These other two events will run at state, but no, this is where you need to come to get those state-only events. I'm going to turn it over to Andy, who's going to talk about entry limits and some notes specific for the regional conference. Andy?
Okay, in deciding who's going to compete in what in your chapter and what is available for them to compete, you can refer to this regional event entry limit chart. It shows the events that we are hosting at the region. A second column will show the event type, whether it's an individual event, a team event, or some team events are allowed to have only one person compete as a team of one, so individual or team. You have a minimum number of team members or individuals. You have a maximum number in each of these events. They're listed in columns 3 and 4. column 5 will show you how many teams or individuals may compete per chapter. These are all adjustments for us depending on time and space of our event, which is 1 day. These may be different than what's on the Total TSA guide. And more importantly, and most importantly, the last column is the event notes. Because of the logistics and the time frame, we often have to make some adjustments to the rules or the Total TSA guide to fit within our space and time. So you need to look at those. If there is a change in the event note, it takes precedence over whatever similar note might be within the Total TSA guide. If there's no change in the event notes, then everything within the Total TSA guide will be followed to the T. So make sure you check both and know what changes are being made at the region or when it comes time for the state. Mark?
Yep. Thanks, Andy. Next, let's cover the event schedule and the agenda. So that we do have 5 events that are going to have online submissions. Directly in the event schedule, you can click these Google Forms that'll take the students out to where they need to submit PDFs, or in this case, it'll be a musical number, but they do need to be in PDF format in order to be able to submit. So those 5 events on Monday by midnight, or 11:59 p.m., the February 21st, these 5 events will have some sort of online submission. Some of these will also, for example, children's stories. You can see there's an online submission component, but the day of, they're going to read their children's story and they're going to be interviewed by the judge. So when we look at the day of the on-site competitions, all of these are going to be in the Student Activity Center, which is called SAC. And this tells you the room number, what time the event starts. So you need to be on campus by 9 a.m. Students in SAC. You're going to meet in the multi-purpose room, register, and then your students head off to their competitions somewhere in SAC. The only event that we will not host in SAC is PVC kayaks, and that will be in the natatorium. We're still waiting for confirmation that we can use the pool that day, but hopefully they'll allow it and we can use the pool to race kayaks. Otherwise, we'll have to cancel that event. There's going to be some time built in for lunch. That will be in the Student Activity Center food court. And then after lunch, we've got a few more events that run. We'll have the awards ceremony at 2:45. That should be over by 3:15. So have your buses back in the same roundabout that you were dropped off. Once again, do not drop off or try to pick up on Floyd or in the parking lot next to Floyd. You need to pick one of those 2 roundabouts for your bus to meet you at 3:15 for departure. Andy's going to talk next about themes and prompts for our River City Regional event.
Okay. Many of our events have themes or problem statements. Many of them are listed, as you see at the very top of the list, on the national website, and there's a link there to that. Some events you will not get the problem statement until the time you show up to compete, like for CAD or for technology problem solving. There will be a few other events possibly that we will post a link or send out an email and post it on our website for events that have themes or problem statements that are time driven. In other words, they're provided 24 hours or 48 hours before the actual event. So you will see all of these listed on this link on this document. Mark?
Yep. So as Andy mentioned, like essays you can see here on your screen, we're going to email that prompt directly to you. We'll also post it on the regional website as well. So kentuckytsa.org/regional. That way you can just say, hey, students, go out there on that date and grab your prompt for essays or grab your prompt for drones. Finally, we're going to talk about registration. So you'll see everything that we've talked about today. The links are out here, minus parking, and that the parking map will be posted as soon as possible. So the last thing I want to talk about is registration. It is already open. It opened last Friday. So when you click that link, you'll log in. You're going to see a page similar to this. So we're going to use DuPont Manual as an example. You can see we have one chapter advisor who's automatically registered. We can add additional advisors if in the registration system on the national website, you have added additional advisors. You can see DuPont does not have any other advisors they can register. And that's because if we go back out to the national registration membership system, there are no additional advisors registered for this particular chapter. If you need to add additional advisors, you have to do it in the national database, and then they'll come into the regional database. So I want to show you how to add students and then how to register them for events. So we can come and click Add Students. You can search by name if you want, or if you just simply click Search, it's going to list all of the students that you have. So for the sake of time, let's say these 2 students are coming to regional. Scroll down to the bottom, click Submit. These students are now registered for regional. You can see here, but now we need to make sure that they're registered for their events. So we're going to go in and select events. Let's say this student is competing in CAD architecture and this student is competing in structural design. Structural is a team event, so it's asking which team this student is on. So if let's say this student is on team 1, and we're going to save. So you'll see this student is now registered for 2 events. I'm going to do the same thing for the second student. This student is competing in essays and structures. Again, they are on team 1. If you have multiple teams in a particular event, you need to make sure you coordinate those team members to the same team. So now I have 1 chapter advisor and 2 students registered. I can always go view my registration, and that's going to show me my list of, I've got 2 students registered, both on team 1 for structure. I've got a student registered for essays, and I've got a student registered for CAD architecture. I can also save and finish later, so I would recommend saving frequently. This system does have a 20-minute timeout, so if you think it's going to take you longer than 20 minutes, make sure you save frequently. I think that's all we have for you today, but like I said, this website has all the links that you need. Andy and I are always here to help, so please reach out to us, call, email, or text, and we'll be happy to help you through any of these registration issues that you may have.